Hey everyone, it's Christian B. Burnaby, Vancouver-based real estate agent. Welcome to Rapid Fire Real Estate. And for today's video, I want to speak to both tenants and landlords. And the purpose of this video is to really solve problems for both of you. For tenants, I meet too many of you who say, I'm having trouble finding a rental property. I mean, you shouldn't have too much trouble if you do what I tell you to do in this video. It's going to help you stand out above the crowd. And for landlords, boy, I've met a lot of landlords whose places I've listed in the past, and I thought, how did they end up with this kind of tenant? Rude, disrespectful, not even paying the rent. Look, there's just a basic checklist of things you need to follow. And if you just watch the next 8 to 9 minutes, you're going to solve these issues. You're going to head them off, and you're going to find a great tenant because, boy, there's a lot of great tenants out there. There's no reason to end up with one that's not really good. Okay. Let's jump into it. And again, if you need to reach out to me, you've got a personal situation, you can find my contact in the show notes below. Easy peasy. Now, first thing I'm looking for is a nice detailed description in response to my ad. When I put up an ad, generally within 3 days, I'm hit with a tsunami of requests to view my rental condo. Sometimes I've had 72 emails in a 3-day period. Is it available? Is not going to work. That ain't getting you on the radar if you're a prospective tenant. What you need to do is you need to respond in writing. The best type of description is usually who are you, where are you from, why are you looking for a place. Give me 3 good chunky paragraphs telling me a little bit about yourself. You're going to stand out above the crowd. Include your phone number and I'll be calling you back. And as for landlords, that's what you got to be looking for. I personally don't waste my time with, is it available? It's such a weak response. It shows me the person isn't taking even a minute of their time to put some thought into this. Like, how much are they really going to care about your property? I understand markets can be tough, but boy, oh boy, I want a description every single time when I'm renting my property to a tenant. Number 2, when you set a time, for the appointment, be punctual as a prospective tenant. If you set up a time for 2 o'clock on Saturday, be there at 1:59 p.m. Treat it like a job interview. If you're 30 minutes late, it's a red flag to me. Are you going to be late on the rental payments too? Right? I mean, first impressions are everything. I learned an expression when I lived in Japan, which is sort of stenciled into my mind, which is, they have this expression that says, Christian, and I remember a teacher telling me this, in Japan we say, a man who does not keep the time cannot be trusted. So keep the time, be punctual. Number 3 is when you show up, be dressed in semi-professional attire, be friendly, have a great demeanor about you. I've had be to the point, ask the questions that matter to you. If you want to have a cat, ask, can I have a cat in the apartment? Ask questions. And you don't need to be chatty. I'm not looking for somebody who's charismatic. I like tenants who are boring, honest, and reliable. And the more boring, honest, and reliable you are, the more I like you. If you're a tenant, just be straight to the point, and remember to be very respectful of the other person's time. Okay. I think that's the main thing I wanted to cover here. Don't have a negative attitude the very first time you show up. This is, the landlord's thinking, what are you going to be like on day 279 if you're a bit of a sourpuss on day number 1? Number 4, be prepared. Best example I ever had of this was a couple flying in from Ontario that rented my condo. They came out with the rental application filled out. He had his references ready. He even had a bank statement ready for me so I could see that he could pay the next 2.5 years of rent. I thought, this guy's gold. Who do you think got the place? They did. And that's the way it works. Come prepared. This is very, very important. As a landlord, I suggest you look for that. Number 5, watch for red flags. And this is for landlords. If a prospective tenant makes bizarre requests or is asking odd questions, flags should be going up in your head. I had an example where I was running a rental open house one day for my condo in Burnaby, and I had somebody come in, and he starts on this polemic about how, is it really fair that landlords can do a credit check on somebody? And I mean, I'm meeting this person for the first time. I've known him for about 95 seconds, and he's going on about how he doesn't like credit checks. Well, what do you think I'm thinking? You don't have good credit. And if you don't have good credit, I'm not renting it to you, right? That's what most landlords are thinking. So if you're a tenant, have a great attitude. This is the very first impression. Be positive, be likable. Look, remember, this is the landlord's most valuable asset. If it's a 2-bedroom condo in downtown Vancouver, this thing's worth $1 million. Who does he want to rent it to? Well, someone he likes to deal with, someone who's honest, reliable, and straightforward. I'm also, I just like someone who dresses I know we live in a very casual culture, especially here on the West Coast, but I don't want someone showing up in flip-flops. It just turns me off. Have close-heeled shoes and just dress like business casual, or just something like you would maybe if you're going to church on Sunday. You get the picture. And so that goes for prospective tenants, and that goes for you landlords as well. Look for that in a tenant. Okay, number 6. This is for prospective tenants. Be considerate of the landlord. I come across a lot of tenants. They're going to ask, they're going to tell me, I want this. I want to have a cat. I want this. I want to change the blinds. I want that. I want a new this, and I want that. And I'm thinking, look, I've got this. I'm just showing this place to like 5 other people. And I'm thinking, you are too self-centered. You should be asking me questions. And this is the same way I work with my clients as well. I'm asking, be Oprah, I always say, is listen, ask a question. Listen, ask a question. You might want to ask your landlord, look, what kind of tenant are you looking for? What's important to you in a tenant? Do you need somebody who's really super quiet? Is it that kind of building? So I like someone who has the ability to perspective take and quickly jump into my shoes and ask me a couple of questions. So that's an advice for tenants. Do that. Number 7, if it's a good property, you like it, and the rent is fair, do not negotiate the rent. Nothing turns me off more from a tenant who starts negotiating the rent on a fair price that I've set, especially somebody who lowballs. Someone who says, look, I'll give you, I know you're asking $2,400, I'll give you $19. I mean, what a ridiculous position. And furthermore, if you're going to ask for a rent reduction like that, get straight to the point and just be honest and polite about it. Just say, look, I know you're asking $2,400, but 23 was kind of my budget. Can we make that work? And that's how you do it. And don't use a bullshit reason like, to rent your place, I got to buy a car. And I don't have a car now. So could you lower the rent by several $100s so I can get a car? I mean, I literally have had that thrown at me, and I'm thinking in my head, like, well, this person is so naive. I'm not going to lower my rent so you can go buy a car. So don't negotiate the rent if it's a fair price. And for landlords, I would suggest, putting up a fair price. And by the way, for landlords, I suggest that you always have a detailed description of your property. I see too many of you put in like 4 or 5 bullets on the property. Take some time to fill out a detailed description of your property as well. What's it like? What's the condition? What are some of the amenities in the building? What's right around what's within several blocks walking distance? It just shows me that you put in a little bit of thought and consideration into it. Okay. Moving along, number 8, if you're a prospective tenant, make this easy for the landlord. Don't make it a hassle. If you're renting a 1-bedroom downtown that's furnished, don't ask them to disassemble the bed and pull that out. They're not going to do that. It's a pain in the ass. Number 9, move quickly. Generally speaking, there seems to be a nice smoothness to successful applicants in my experience and in the experience of my clients. So it's somebody who comes and sees the property at Saturday at 2 o'clock. They call me back at Saturday at 6. They say they're going forward with it. Saturday at 9:30 in the evening, They have deposited, they've e-transferred me the deposit. That's smooth, and they've signed the rental agreement. Generally, you want this all wrapped up no later than 24 hours. And that's the latest I would go on it, because the landlord's going to keep showing the property. And this ties into number 10. As a landlord, if you don't get the deposit, keep showing the property. If you're a prospective tenant, get that deposit in right away. Because if you don't, it just makes it look like you are weak and you're not committing to it. And you're sitting on the fence there somewhere. So get the deposit in right away. Go ahead and sign the agreement. Ask any questions. I might be coming across as a little bit of a hard ass in this video. I'm really not. I'm just the kind of person, I'm upfront, I'm direct. If you talk to 7, 8, 9, 10 of my tenants that I've had in the past, they would tell you they love me because I'm just upfront. I'm honest. I'm very responsive. If the fridge breaks down, I've got someone there within 48 hours taking a look at it. You got to treat your rental property as a business. Think of yourself in customer service. At least I do anyway. And besides, that's the least you can do, right? If you were renting a property, you'd want someone to come and fix the broken toilet pretty quickly. So that's the position I take. And likewise, I want someone to be responsive with me. So if you're a prospective tenant, respond very quickly, especially with cell phones. I know you're on the phone all day long, so there's no reason not to respond within 3 or 4 hours. Okay, I hope you found this helpful. I'd love to get your opinion on my 10 bullets in this video. If you disagree with them, tell me why. Leave it in the comments below. If you've had good experience or bad experiences, or there's something else that maybe I've missed, put it in the comments below, because I'd like to know about it. Okay, it may even help myself in the future. Guys, thank you for watching. Thank you to all our new subscribers, and we'll talk to you soon.